The evidence, the proof of the signs, miracles, and wonders God is showing forth in the lives of his people.
Hello, my name is Sherrod, and this is my wife Brittany, and we're going to just tell you a few testimonies of what God has done for us.
In 2021, we wanted to grow our family, so we ended up getting pregnant in February of 2021. And at our first appointment, we ended up finding out basically that there was no heartbeat. So we had a miscarriage. So then that was kind of hard for us going through. We were kind of confused, like questioning God, So we were just like, okay, let's just, I guess try again. So in October of 2021, we got pregnant again. And we made it to our first appointment, and basically the same thing happened. They said that there was no heartbeat, but they didn't really want to call it a miscarriage at the moment, so they had to go through all the logistics or whatever. Ended up coming to find out it was a miscarriage again. So we were just like, at that point, I think we both were kind of like
a little upset. Took a break and everything, and just was trying to figure out what was going on.
And then in November of last year, 2022, co-pastor called me and told me to follow these instructions that God told her. And once I did, I'll be healed of Crohn's. And I did it. I followed the instructions. And then we had a Thanksgiving service here at the church the day before Thanksgiving. And God told me to go up to and say that, my testimony is that I'm healed of Crohn's before I even got confirmation from any doctor. And so I went ahead and I spoke it out that I was healed of Crohn's. And that was November of 2022. I remember it was like I think it was like a Monday. My stomach was hurting really, really, really bad. And I didn't know what it was. And I was in Johnston Willis for 5 days. Yeah. And they didn't know what was going on. That was crazy because co-pastor said, I remember we were in the room and the GI doctor was in there, and the GI doctor was like, it's probably Crohn's. She was like, it's not Crohn's. Did you guys check such and such? And the doctor was kind of looking at her like, this is what I do. Like, this is my job. I know what I'm talking about. He kept saying, okay, ma'am, I understand that, but it's probably Crohn's. And she just kept saying it's not. And so when she kept saying that, I kind of was like, okay, she's really serious. So maybe I should put my faith with hers. And I remember we went downstairs and my father came too. And he came in the room. They were about to take me back. And my dad was about to pray, and so the nurse was standing there. He was like, do you want to pray? Do you want to get in here with us? Because if not, and he was like, they're going to come out and they're going to come back and say it's no Crohn's. And it's so funny because it was I think it was one of the same nurses upstairs. So I think they're kind of looking like, this girl's parents is crazy. They both are saying, no Crohn's. I mean, and they never, it wasn't even like they were like, it could be, but God, we know it's not. It was just they just was like, it's not Crohn's. And so I remember we came back from the surgery and
pretty much what they were saying, and my wife putting her faith on it, that pretty much Crohn's are completely gone, and she does not have Crohn's, no more flare-ups ever since. So
doctor said there is no site. There's he was reading the report, and I have the report. He was reading the report, and he was like, there's no site. And
I think they were shot.
And in January of this year, 2023, we were at home watching the LTMA conference, and Apostle was preaching, and all of a sudden he said, anyone who desires to be pregnant, come up. And so we were at home, literally watching it. And I remember looking at him and I was like, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. And it was crazy because he had done this at 2 other events, and we hadn't been physically there, but each event we've watched, we stood in agreement. But for this one, I was like, stand up, Sherrod, stand up. So we're in our room and we're standing up, and Apostle's when I pray this, women, they become pregnant. And it was he was speaking to me. I knew for sure. I was like, I'm going to be pregnant. I just knew. And that was in January. And it's crazy because literally I think it was a Friday night service. That's Sunday, so 2 days later, and people will say that, that's not, but I believe this was God, it was God. 2 days later was a Sunday, and we were at church. It was crazy. I wasn't feeling good. Ended up coming to find out that we took a test that day, and it came back what?
It came back
Positive. And so, you know, I was excited.
You know, I was excited as well. And it's also good that you like, you know, have a good partner. I would say my wife, her faith kind of helped with my faith. It was like this time, she was like determined. Like even with me, I was like, babe, like I don't want to tell nobody. I'm gonna wait, like wait, babe. Because before we had told people, and I was like, babe, I just want to wait till we get here. And she was just like, babe, like God is telling me like everything's on me, like I have to announce it. So I would thank you for, you know, helping my faith. You know?
You're welcome. But like you said, it was both of our faith, because even though I was excited, fast forward to our first appointment, to be honest, I was like petrified, because I was like, oh my God, this like all the feelings that came upon me that day was the feelings from the last 2 times we made it to our first appointment. And I remember sitting in the waiting room, and he actually was the one this time who was like, you know, remember what you said about God? Like
you know, God is not going to let's go to this 3 times. I was just like, you know how they say in the sayings, like God don't put on you more than you can bear. I truly believe in that. So I know even then I was like, God, I can't go through this again, or my wife, because I know how it was just emotionally. So definitely stayed encouraged, and we went back and we got the heartbeat, and so that was very, very good.
it was so exciting. You know, we had multiple appointments since then, and each time they're like, as soon as they put the Doppler on my stomach, it's like boom, 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 boom. It's so crazy, because comparing it to the first 2 times we went through this together, it was like you put on
Black room, no noise.
no, like literally, like it's like you're drowning in like
It's crazy.
like sorrow, because to hear that, it sucks. But it was so encouraging, you know, to just know that we made it that far. Now, you know, we're so excited because in September we will be welcoming a new baby girl, a baby girl Dagner, to the family. So, you know, we just want to thank God, and thank God for the ministry that we're in, that we have pastors who are like, you know, to believe and keep pushing. And, you know, even them being like our parents, it's like they still give us that same like, oh, it's going to be okay. Like, you know, we're going to make it through. And so it took faith. It took faith. And it truly is a miracle that after 2 miscarriages in the same year, getting delivered from Crohn's, not even a full year later, we're here now where we're having a baby girl.
Yeah, and I would just, you know, encourage anybody, like, if you got faith on something, stand on your faith, like, and towards anything, just stand on your faith, for real, for real.
Yeah, and when you are married, you have to be together.
Yeah, that's definitely the key, because even just together with everything you're going through, it's good to be in it together, you know, instead of, like, getting angry or one of you, like, I don't want to deal with God. But I think it actually brought us closer together, like, through everything we went through. Pretty much it was like good learning. I guess learning.
A good learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.